and all possible accounting entries.
Yes.
So it can be any action from IPO of that particular company to till till the winding up of the business operations. If you see any action as such, that action you can call it as an event or
Corporation.
action or corporate action. It can be
Yeah.
anything: merger, acquisition, profit distribution or dividend distribution, dividend reinvestment plan, cash and
Yeah.
stock options, then stock
Yes.
dividend, bonus issues, right distributions, open offer, right, repurchase shares, which is buyback.
Yes.
It can be anything, return of capital to the investors,
Yes.
all actions which you can consider or call it as a corporate actions. So maybe you will have a question. So the private companies, private limited companies, can they announce any kind of action? And if they announce, so can we say that action as also corporate action? Yes.
Yeah.
Private limited companies, they announce that is capital raising plan, right, to raise the capital through ppm, maybe bonds or
Yes.
maybe other loan tranches and all that comes under corporate action. Companies, private limited companies, they also announce dividend to their preference equity securities and all their bonds, the
Yes.
interest, they announce interest payment and all. That also comes under even the liquidation, bankruptcy proceeding, right? It can be any event, annual general meeting, because private limited companies also the required meeting and all, right, to
Yeah. Yeah.
circulate the valuable information to all their stakeholders.
Yes.
They required it. And
Yes.
that's what. So corporate action means from meeting to name change or ISIN change or maybe address change. It can be anything. So that all the actions which you can consider as a corporate actions of that particular company.
Yes.
But from a fund accounting side, so why that is important? What is the importance of corporate action? See, as a fund manager, they are going to invest into any kind of equity, bonds, debenture, loan, or any other financial instrument. If you invest and if you see any action as such, your job is to evaluate or validate that action. Or due to that action, what happened or what would be the impact on your investment, evaluate that. That is your job actually to check it.
Yes.
Let's say split. Number of shares will split. The market value of shares will change. The face value of shares will change. The number of securities in your portfolio will change.
Yes.
Check it, calculate it, and accordingly record it.
Yes.
If company announced dividend, income will receive, additional cash will receive to you.
Yes.
Record it. Check it whether
Yes.
the actual ratio or rate which you have received or not. Interest payment, let's say you have received accrued interest payment, that should be matched with your cash, whatever that you have received, it should be matched with your accrued interest payment. If it is not matched, then do your investigation. Let's say merger and
Yes.
acquisition, you don't want to participate, or maybe your securities or fund manager don't want to participate in merger and acquisition. Let's say that the merger was voluntary, like merger with an election,
Yes.
then you will receive cash back, right? Securities will be debited from your account. Check it, how much cash that you have received, and accordingly apply the accounting treatment.
Yes.
And that's what your job with the corporate action is like. The rule, which is very important, rule, it means you should, if you want the benefit of corporate action, if you want the benefit of corporate action, you should purchase the securities before the ex-date,
Yes.
and securities should be settled on or before the record date. And that is the rule you need to follow if you want the benefit of corporate action. Here you may expect question on the corporate action part, like, if I purchase the securities on X date,
Yes.
then will I get the benefit of corporate action? Still, will I get the benefit of dividend and all? You may expect question like this. No. Why? Because simple. So X date, it means if you purchase anything on X date, it means X date, it means expiry of dividend date.
Yes.
For
Yes. We should
exclude,
to get the benefit of any corporation. We should have the holdings before X date, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In addition to this, X date, it means investor calculate the benefit of corporate action as per the X date.
Okay.
X date can call exclude or without corporate action benefit date also.
Hmm.
Record date, it means company process the corporate actions or events benefit as per the record date.
Okay.
Company will not check the X date. Company doesn't care about whether you purchase the security or not. On record date, your name should be there in the books of company. Company will pay the benefit to that particular
So
process.
basically, the X date is you're saying it's for the investors.
Yes, it's for an investor.
Okay. For company, they do all the things and record day only.
Record date only. It's a book close date. Company will close the book on record date,
Okay.
and only company will process the dividend to you as per the record date, not the as per the X date. This is for you because security is tradable in the market. You can trade during that period also. And that's
Okay.
what X date, it means exchange date. So exchange, stock exchange will announce this X date, not the company.
No, the question is if the company is giving the benefit, like if they declare the dividend distribution, and they are like on declaration date they declare, we are giving the this much of dividend as per the ratio, as per the holdings which investor has. On record day they make the process, they record in their books of account, right? Company books of account. So, I mean, just the question that why this X date is required. I mean, even the investor can
Due
do
to
this
settlement
as
rule, due to settlement rule. Because when you
okay.
purchase anything on or before the X date, or let's say in general, if you purchase anything, so you require 2 days to get the security in your books of account,
Yes,
right? So it
two
means
plus
if
two.
you
Yes,
if you purchase it, if there is no rule for this corporate action, then how will you process the benefit of corporate action? Most of the people, they will miss the benefit of this corporate action. In short, why?
okay,
There are people like us, retail
yeah,
investors. They are not aware about this rule. They directly
okay,
purchase the securities in between this period as well.
okay,
So it's like a I would say क्या बोलते हैं उसे, मैं भूल गया वर्ड, कि एक लिमिट है कि उसके पहले
हाँ,
यू जस्ट एंजॉय इट. What if you want the
हाँ,
benefit? Before that, you just buy it. After that, buyer means security buyer will not be entitled to get the benefit of dividend. जैसे होता है ना कि एक मॉल में ऑफर चल रहा होता है
हाँ,
कि
yeah,
भाई,
got it.
हाँ, 10 दिन के
Yes,
अंदर ही तुम खरीद लो तो ये हम एक कूपन देंगे, सो विच यू कैन रिडीम इन नेक्स्ट मंथ और मे बी इन नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट मंथ. बट उसके लिए उन्होंने कंडीशन क्या रखी, यू शुड बाय द और परचेस और डू द शॉपिंग इन दिस मंथ ओनली और इन दिस वीक ओनली.
yes, yes, yeah,
अभी हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये बेट किसी और ने अनाउंस करी हुई, नो, ये उन्होंने मॉल का जो इंटरनल टीम है, दे हैव अनाउंस्ड इट.
yeah. So normally this X date and record date, में how much day difference will be there?
Generic rule we have, which is record date minus 2 would be your X date.
Okay,
Generic I'm talking about, but which is not fixed even.
yes,
Standard process is like, so X date plus 2 would be your recorded business that I'm talking about,
hmm,
excluding your Saturday and Sunday.
hmm,
X date plus 2 would be your recorded, or recorded minus would be recorded minus 2 days would be your X date, and X date minus 1 would be your entitlement date, which we can call trade date for corporate actions.
okay, okay.
ये कोई नहीं बताएगा,
So
ये important है. Sometimes you may expect question on this part. What would be the trade date for corporate action? Let's say if the Monday is the X date for XYZ securities, Monday is the X date for XYZ securities, then Friday would be the trade date for that part, or was the trade date for that particular security.
yes, yes, yes.
Trade
So
date
if
क्यों
you
important?
purchase on the Friday, then you are entitled to get the dividend.
Exactly, because trade date,
Yes.
it means ownership date, so that you have acquired the ownership of that particular security on trade date.
Yes, yes,
And so still, if I purchase something on X date, then what will happen? See, ideally, if you purchase anything on X date, then it will take 2 days to settle that securities in your account.
yes,
And eventually, company will close the book on record date. So it means
yes,
as a buyer, your name will not be there in the books of company on record date.
yes,
And eventually you will miss that corporate action benefit. So the seller of the security will receive the benefit of that particular security or action
okay,
or corporate action.
yes, yes,
If
yes,
seller will receive the benefit of dividend, then that
yes,
dividend, which you can call manufactured dividend,
yes,
टर्म समझ में आई? तो गूगल पे कई सारा
हाँ,
एक्सप्लेनेशन उसका दिया हुआ है. अगर तुम देखोगे तो
yeah,
कुछ भी इधर उधर का वो भी किसी ने लिखा हुआ है जो जैसे समझते हैं लोग.
yes, yes, हाँ,
But in short, if you sell something on X date, so it means eventually instead buyer, seller will receive the dividend or benefit of corporate actions.
yes, yes, हाँ. Like why this? I mean, buyer will buy on that particular day because they know that they are not getting the dividend for. They are not entitled to get the dividend, and after the dividend distribution, the price might fall. So in that case,
See, sometime why will you buy? The reason is maybe let's say if you have any obligation, in that case you can buy it. Otherwise, only uneducated buyers they do the trades in that security. Simple. The
yeah, yeah,
fund managers or educated traders they don't purchase security on X date. They hold it because
yeah,
eventually the price will drop. You're not getting the benefit of your dividend. Then why will you purchase the
yeah,
security on X date?
yeah. After the distribution is done, then again the price will fall for.
Again it will fall. Means almost you would see the correction in the price more
Yes,
than the
yes,
dividend amount.
yes, yes,
At least continuously 1 week you would see the depreciation in the price of that particular stock. That doesn't make sense to buy the security on X date.
yes, yes,
When I was new in this market, equity market, I was tend to doing this the same practice, which is to purchase the security on X date
yeah,
initially. Then I got to know, okay, so if I purchase the security on X day, so that it means I'm in a loss eventually, even though I have missed the dividend payment, even corporate action benefit, and I'll have to wait at least for next 1 quarter to get the appreciation.
yes,
So that happened.
yeah,
Okay, so X
yeah,
date, record date. So in a simple way also you can understand this because if you join any broking firm and all or custodian business, they calculate the benefit as per X date, not the as per recorded. But yeah, so what we do it, we ensure that if we have a holding position on X date, so it means that should be settled in the books of company or maybe in your books on or before the recorded. That's how means corporate action payment team they process the benefit of that action to you, right? Otherwise you will again miss it. And many time
yes,
that happened due to technical error, due to position and availability and all. So you will not have enough positions on recorded, so you can miss the benefit of corporate action. That doesn't mean you will completely miss it. So they can alternatively, so they can arrange the other way to process that part, so which we can call claim processing.
yes,
Then paid it it means where fund accounting teams they actually convert their accruals into cash, and then you can remove your accruals from your balance sheet, which is dividend receivable and payable depends, because you're gonna receive cash on that day. And what about the duration? So it will take almost that the 45 days duration would be standard duration from a record date to receive the benefit of corporate actions. Within that or maybe after that also you may expect payment. That is depends on the mode of payment or other arrangement and all. But that will be communicated to you by the company or maybe registrar of the company. They can communicate to you. So here we have an example. Let's say you're holding the security, Wipro security, right? Then in your books of account, what would be the accounting entry? If you're holding the security, Investment in equity account, debit to Wipro company account, right? Or maybe cash in bank account, credit, correct?
Yes, yes, I have. Yeah, yes,
Okay. Let's say company announce stock split, then what will happen with your securities? You are not going to receive any additional benefit here. Let's say bonus issues, you're not going to receive that here. Just a split in number of shares, so your number of shares will increase. Hello, Nanish, are you
yes,
there?
yes. I can hear. Yeah.
Okay, so what will happen in any case after split or during the split? Corporate action team, what they do, see, their job is to debit the securities from the investors account. So it means old securities, debit the old securities and credit the new securities. That's the process.
Okay.
Debit the old securities and credit the new securities. But in a
So can
fund book, what will happen? Or in your personal demat account, what will happen? Simply the securities from your demat account will be debited and new securities will be credited.
yes.
Correct? Maybe in a different numbers, but the value of securities will be remain same.
No, but what I'm thinking, stock split means number of shares will get increased, right?
Hmm.
Uh, then already I'm holding 10 shares of this company, and the ratio is 10 is to 2. I mean 1 is to 2 ratio they allocated.
Hmm.
So instead of they can additionally allocate me 10 more shares, right?
Hmm.
So in that case,
Hmm.
they do that, or they'll take back the shares from my account and they give the new securities to me, 20 securities. How?
No, 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 no. In a replacement, the face value of shares will be changed. In that case, replacement will happen. This is a replacement event. The face, if you see there is a change in face value, it means that event we can treat as a replacement of securities event. A replacement of securities. If I take the example of right distribution event, so here new securities will be transferred to your demat account. If I take the example of stock dividend, new securities will be transferred to your demat account. If I take the example of bonus issues, so new securities will be transferred to your demat account. But if I take the example of stock split or reverse split, here we are not going to add any additional securities. We'll directly replace the old securities and will credit the new securities with the new ratio. That's the process we have. That's
Okay.
what we call replacement of securities. Replacement. The important word
Okay.
here is replacement.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Replace. Because here, see, due to your bonus issues, there is no impact on face value. Correct? Due to right distribution, there is no impact on face value.
Yes, yes. We
Due,
get additional shares. That's it.
exactly. Additional, it means retention of benefit. That is like retention benefit. And here we can say it's a replacement benefit. So it means, in short, your old securities will be replaced with the new one. And if this is the case, then what will happen? In short, there is no change in valuation, right?
Okay.
The valuation or security value will be remain same. Value and quantity both are different. But the
No,
number of
but is it impact on our NAV calculation?
no, 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 there is no impact.
Because our shares will get increased, right? I mean, stocks.
What makes sense? Then shares will get increased, but there is no change in value.
Value, proportionately, value also get decreased. That's why.
You're not getting this term then. See, the simple point is, let's take example of TCS shares. Current value of per share says 3,300, right? Market value of shares, and face value, which is something 1. If TCS announce reverse split, if company announce reverse split, then what will happen? Let's say the ratio is 1:10. So it means for one old shares there will be 10 new shares, right?
Reverse split means it's ulta, right? I mean,
Yes, so you can consolidate. So we can take the example of this. So 10 shares and then we'll consolidate in one
okay.
in this way. So just
Yes.
for 10 shares, company can announce new 1 shares, or your 10 shares will be replaced with 1 new shares,
Okay.
right? And
Yes.
for this, let's say the value of the face value of a security was like 1 for 1 equity shares, right?
Mm.
This face value will be changed and the face value of security will be around 10. See this.
Okay.
If you purchase this, there is no change in it, because if you multiply 10 shares, 1 shares, 1 rupees, again there is no change in value. So it means 10 10. 1 shares, 10 rupees. There is no
Yes.
change in valuation. And then what
Yes. Yes.
about market price then?
Yes.
Market price also will remain same.
Market value, you're saying.
Yeah. Let's take the example of this valuation. Let's say if this is the price, then definitely the price should be around this 10 into, yes. In
Yes.
this case, the value would be 330, but after the reverse split, the value would be around 3,300 market price. It goes around, but if you see, there is no change in valuation. Here
Yes.
also you would
Yes.
see the valuation like similar, which is 3,300, and here also you would see the valuation which is 3,300. There is no change in it. Then why there will
Okay.
have impact on net asset value? Because what we believe, so NAV, it means total asset value minus total liabilities divided by number of outstanding shares.
Yes. Yes.
And we presume this, the like there is change in number of shares, that means it will have an impact on a net asset value of a fund. It will have an impact on a net asset value of a company, not the fund.
Okay.
If the number of shares will increase, then per shares value of a company will change, not the
Yes.
fund.
Yes.
There is a difference
Okay.
in shares, and there is a and units of that particular fund, or
Okay.
shares of that particular fund.
So one more question, like we had like 10 different securities, and the price was 330, so around the market value is 3,300. Okay. So we, as per the 1:2 ratio, we have done the reverse stock split. So it means we'll be having only one share. Uh,
Yes.
I
So
mean,
10 shares
only
will
one
be
share.
replaced. So 10 shares will be replaced automatically. So this will be debited from your
Okay, so
account.
this will reverse. I mean, we reverse those trades and we book only one trade in that case.
Exactly, credited. So in short, corporate action team, what they do, they directly debit the security from your account.
Hmm.
Right. So it means when you purchase something, what will be your accounting entry?
Investment investment account debit to cash.
Debit to cash. Then after this, post this stock split, the corporate action team, they process like your this investment account will be credited, right? Credited. Let's say the company name is which is TCS.
Hmm.
TCS account debited. Why? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit what
Hmm.
comes in, credit what goes out. The security will
Yes.
be out from your account.
Yes.
And new security will receive to you. New security will be
Yes.
like again this entry, investment account debit to TCS shares, because they are going to send it that securities to you.
Yes.
So in short, there is no impact on a valuation of that particular holding, and just
Okay.
because that there is no change in the net asset value also. But from accounting side, you would see such a accounting entries, but you don't need to apply any accounting entries in your fund accounting system, because this is a part of corporate action team. They process it from their end.
No, yeah, but actually, they're also part of the fund accounting team, right? So whenever they see that this kind of corporate action, so on for example, on before when they process this entry, I mean, on which date, which
On
this
payment date, they
entries.
process it.
Okay.
Corporate action team, they actually payment it means, so once they received the instructions, right? So because before that on a record date, so it means that event will be closed, correct? Then
Yes.
company will declare, so it means eventually the corporate action team will check the company book on a record date, and accordingly
Hmm.
they will ensure that, so how many holders or positions are outstanding for that corporate action benefit, they calculate it. So ex-date position and recorded position should be matched, and if it is matched, so it means here you can expect one securities on your recorded, if that particular security is settled in your books of account. And on a payment date, this the entry will be processed. That's what they call like payment process. It means it's a settlement, so where
Yes.
actually the securities will be replaced, your old securities will be replaced with new.
So you are saying that corporate action team, if there is any event like X date, they don't take any action. Okay.
X date,
On
it means you don't need to take any action, it's for a trading purpose, but you need to calculate the benefit as per the X date.
No, no. Accident actually, the I'm talking about the corporate action team perspective. On X date, they don't take any action. Record day, company will record this these things. On payment day, they do this one, right? They
Yes, on a
actually
payment date we
process.
process it, yes.
So X day record day for them, it's not. I mean, it's not. Actually, the fund, it's not impact anything on the. I mean, there is no additional entry process on that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, on a payment, everything will be done on payment date only.
Okay, from corporate
But
action
fund
team. Okay.
accounting team, in case of dividend, they process that the accrual entry in the books of fund.
Yeah.
For a dividend, for income part, the same logic will work in a different way,
Okay.
because that is a part of income and that it is accrued.
Yes. Yes.
But in this case, so you are not going to accrue anything, so you didn't earn anything. It's
Hmm.
just a movement in your securities. It is the internal movement in your securities.
Okay.
Correct. So such accounting entries will pass. So already I have discussed this part. Wipro to investment, and then investment in stock to new stock account, or maybe to Wipro company. So you can apply the that is personal and real account logic. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So actually, that the corporate action team on payment, if they process this entry or send these instructions to the custodian, so accordingly, custodian will debit the security from Wipro company, and then credit that will be credited to you from the issuer's account to your accounts. It's like a
Okay.
salary, the way companies process the salaries or bank process the salaries to our accounts at the end of the month. The similar way, this the reverse split event will be processed to us. Firstly, your
Okay.
old securities will be debited,
Yes.
and then after, new securities will be credited. So eventually that will be debited or credited, vice versa, because we have a definition: debit what comes in and credit what goes out.
Yes.
Okay.
If on the payment date, if the corporate action team needs to process the uh, like process these entries, then it will be impact on the episode, right?
So if you ask this question to me, I'll say it's due to this action and all, there is no impact as such. But if you miss to record, let's say you have debited your positions and you forgot to credit it, in that case there will be impact on a net asset value. So it means one leg is missing. So in short, that is
Okay.
incomplete transaction and the system will not fetch.
For example, so whatever like for reverse stock split, I debited the shares, but I forgot to credit the shares as per the new ratio.
In this
So in
example,
that
if you
case, it
take
will,
the example, let's say there was 10 securities in your books of account, right?
yes, yes,
That 10 securities which has been debited from your account, but due to technical reason, or maybe it can be any reason, that one security is yet to credited to your books of account. So
okay,
it means this value will not be reflected there. So this value seems like zero.
zero, okay,
Now in this
okay,
case, you would
then
see the
definitely it will
impact.
impact.
And
Okay,
that's what your
so
job is, to like evaluate it in a proper way and to check it. What was the ratio? Was your position eligible to replace it? Did you
yes,
receive that benefit or not? See, sometime what happened, let's say the ratio which is something different. So in that
mm,
case, so all securities it should have redeemed, and the cash that the company, from a company side, they should have processed the cash to you, right? If you see the fraction of shares and all.
mm,
That also happens sometime. Let's say your position is not entitled for a corporate action and all. But still, so company cannot keep that security in your account. They will
yes,
redeem your securities at a market price. They will process you the market value and they will debit the securities from your account. So in that case, in short, it means you should have received your benefit, whatever it is.
yes,
See, I'll tell you the logic. Let's say you have invested in this particular stock with a price of 250.
okay,
If something happened with your investment, something happened, then what will happen? There will be only three situations where one, the price may go up, maybe
mm,
price go down,
yes,
right? Or it can be zero, or maybe price should be remain same. If the price is remain same, so it means there is no change in net asset value.
yes,
Otherwise, your NAV will be impacted.
yes,
If the price goes up or goes down or goes zero or negative, not negative, but at least up to zero.
yes,
And now you can relate all your entire corporate action with the same term.
okay,
If you see the change in value, let's say your purchase price was 100 and there is change in the price, so it means there is impact. If there is no, then there is no impact.
okay.
Correct?
Yes, yes. No, but in that case, if for example today is a payment date and I miss to process both the entries, and tomorrow if I make the I post, I mean I post the correct entries, then it won't impact on
See,
the NAV.
in the
But just
accrual case, there is no impact as such. Anyways, when you, let's say in a dividend case, if you have recorded the dividend as a accrued dividend, right?
just a cash break we get to that.
Exactly. Not even cash break. If you have recorded it, so still your accrual entry will be there till you receive the payment.
Yes.
But in case of what happens sometime, as I mentioned, you have accrued entry with 700 rupees and you have received 500 rupees as a cash.
Mm.
In that case, you would see the again impact that your accruals which you have recorded, which is 700, and cash which you have received, which is 500.
Mm.
And let's
Yeah,
say you have
that.
recorded accruals incorrectly, so it means there is impact on NAV, net asset value. So in short, you have published NAV incorrectly in
Incorrect.
past.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely it will impact the accrued part of dividend things. So for this reverse split and stock split, if like instead of processing today on the payment date, if I process tomorrow, so it doesn't impact in the right?
See, when you debit the securities, in short, the debited and credited part should be done
Yeah,
at same
that
time. Should be
one
done at
leg is
same
miss.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. If one
And
leg
if
is
it is
processed,
not, then you
one
would see the impact. That's the process. Then it's like
yes.
It's a simple one. So if you debited the security today and if you credit it tomorrow, then that doesn't make sense.
Yes, sir.
That should be processed at same time.
So normally, how this corporate action team? I mean, on what they depend? Like, if there is any corporate action event, and do they follow the market or which?
Yes, there are a number of things. Okay, they check the market sources as well. Let's say Bloomberg, Reuters, stock exchange side, right? Then
Yeah.
they, even though, let's say if they're working at prime brokers, then they reach out to the agent banks or custodians, registrars, right, for corporate action information and all. So after
So
they receive the,
every day morning they check is there any
yes,
corporate
they
action?
update, they update the calendar, right? They work as
Okay.
per the X date. As I mentioned, they work as per the X date. If the company announce X date, then they record the X date in their books of account for a tracing purpose.
Okay.
Because anyways, you cannot do anything till the that particular recorded pass. After that, then you can pick that event and perform the reconciliation between X date position and recorded positions. Check the
Hmm.
positions and create the corporate actions for entitled positions.
Hmm.
Correct. And after creation of
Yes.
the event, then wait for a payment. Once you received notification for a payment, then process it.
Yes. Yes.
That's the process. And their workflow, if you ask me, then workflow would be like announcement, up to announcement, scrubbing of the event. So we'll do that. Research team will do that. Then event setup. If you have enough information about that particular action, so you can create the event in the system. So what you
Yeah.
required: ISIN, QSIP, X date, record date, entitlement date, payment date.
Hmm.
So and the quantity, rate, ratio, transaction currency, listing, the country of issuer, security name and all. So all you require to feed into the system. And after
Yes.
that, you would see the positions will be that is flown down in your system then. Entitled
Okay.
positions, right? So which you can match with the MT564, which is a message type notification which we received.
Okay.
And on a payment date, you can match the same instructions. You can match the same instructions.
Okay.
So after that, you can means once you receive MT564, you can match all the instructions with MT566 because on a payment it will receive another message code with the confirmation of that they have processed the payment to your demat account, right? Or maybe they have processed the payment to your dividend account. So that would be like confirmation.
Yeah.
So take
If,
it
for
easy.
example, if there is one security on which actually the corporate action event is happening, if, for example, if I'm handling like 10 funds, so all the funds are holding those security, it means the action, I mean, the process will be the remain same for all the funds, right?
Yes, because every
Yeah.
fund will have a unique their client ID, and we process the benefit as per client IDs.
Okay.
In case of master and feeder, you will not see this structure because we'll only process benefit to the masters, not the feeders. That is their internal deal, so they can distribute their returns or maybe they can allocate masters team. They can allocate to the feeders. That is their internal. But
Yeah.
let's say I'm working at prime broker level, and their feeders account, let's say they are not listed one.
Yeah.
Most of the feeders they will not listed ones. Only master will list their trading accounts and all. So it means
Yes.
we'll only process the benefit to the masters. Then master will allocate to the feeders and feeder will allocate to their different investor accounts and all if it is required allocation.
Okay.
That is something different process. But yes, so processing part for all the funds will be remain same. This
Okay. Only the quantity,
debit, credit, and your job is
only the
like
quantity
to
and the ratio will be differ.
yeah, depends. Ratio again will be same, but depends on
The
their
ratio,
contribution or investment, right?
yes,
Let's
yes.
say
The quantity,
A fund
the,
is holding 10, another fund is
mm,
holding 100. That let's say
mm.
ABC fund is holding 10,000. That is depends on their yeah investment.
Yeah, only the quantity will get differ. Price and ratio will remain same.
Yes, price and ratio that will be remain same. Everything will be remain same except their quantities.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
rest eyes in counterparty trade that is issuer name, SIDOL, QSAPE,
Okay.
transaction currency, everything means everything except quantity. That will be different. That's what the Recon teams, they perform and check it, the quantity into price and the amount, whatever amount that they have received. So means they try to match with the wire payment,
Yeah.
right? In case of retain earning, bonus, rights, stock dividend, here you would see you're gonna receive something, right? So here you don't need to pay anything.
Yes, yes.
It will,
Additional benefit.
yes, additional benefit, and that's what here the accounting into it be like retention of bonus, rights, stock dividend account. That is like you have retained it, means you have earned, even though you haven't earned. So I would say retain the shares, retention
Yes.
benefit.
Yes.
You're holding the securities. That's what. So now you have received a retention bonus or benefit. To earn, that is, it means your income, right? But to gain something, that would, we can say, yeah. So you have retained something, retain the value, kind of.
Yes. Mm.
So then retention bonus, rights, stock dividends account would be debited to the company's ABC company account, credited, because here again you can apply the rule: debit what comes in, credit what goes out, debit the receiver, credit the giver,
Yes.
and which you can directly process to the your bank account.
Yes.
That your balance it and all. That is depends. If you want to transfer that security to the directly balance it, then you can transfer it to the balance it as well. Balance it account debit to balance it asset account debit to retention of bonus, right, stock dividend and all, and which you can add it to the your existing securities. So eventually your asset side will be ramp up or increased due to this. Then if a company is paying the current value of investment to the investor, then below entry can be posted. Okay, simple. Sometime you would see the events like a return of capital. A return of capital, it means issuer will return your securities to you.
Okay.
Issuer will return. So but yeah, sometime you may expect question like, or maybe you would have a question, so why issuer will return the capital?
Yeah.
See, sometime due to regulatory requirement, right? So regulator can request to the company to reduce that the number of outstanding shares. That's what company can impose or announce this return of capital. So sometime you would expect question, or maybe you have a question like, so is it mandatory one or voluntary one?
Yeah.
A return of capital, it's a mandatory one. A return of capital with election would be voluntary one.
Yes.
So sometime it will be like optional. So sometimes, so here you would see the argument like, what is then, see, if the company want to announce return of capital and to pay the full value of a securities, then what is the difference between buyback and return of capital then?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. I was asking question.
There is no change in it, but yeah. So buyback, which is something, so when the company earned profit and all, and company want to reduce their liabilities, that's what that company can announce, the buyback. And so it's like repurchase securities from the investors. But with the return of capital, which is something company, they don't have a profit, means they don't have any other intention, just because of a regulator. And maybe the another intention would be like company just want to return the security, that the value to the investors. Maybe in upcoming time company in a plan to delist the securities from the market, or it can be another reason, which is regulatory requirement. Due to that, company can announce return of capital. And
Okay.
buyback, which
So actually, when this return on capital happen, so does they pay as per the market rate or as per
here you
the
would see the discount as well, premium hardly which you would expect in a buyback. That we know the company repurchases securities on a premium, right?
yeah.
Let's say market price is 2000, and company may that process the benefit to you around uh, let's say 3000, 3500, like. But in a return of capital, hardly you would see that. Maybe on a discounted rate also, that company can debit your securities,
Okay.
because it's a regulatory requirement. Or maybe let's say sometime, yeah, if company want to return the capital to you, that your investment to you, so in that case then you would expect, so company can buy back the security at a market price, not even premium or to pay high value and all.
Okay.
That is, everything is depends on the company's financial position. If they are
Okay.
sound, they can pay you higher as well. Because see, if in general, let's say the company is earning well, I'm holding the security since last 10 years, and suddenly company is saying, so you will have to return the security to us, why should I return it? Then I'll ask for, definitely I'll ask for a higher benefit then. And in a buyback, so the important is, you cannot, hey, just a minute, the Viraj is calling, just a minute. Hey, hi Viraj. हाँ, डायरेक्टली डायरेक्टली टेक्स्ट करो ना उनको कि ये एक दो बंदे हैं, ये एक अपना एक सुपरवाइजर है सिटको से, टीम लीड है, ठीक है, उसका पहला ही सेशन है आज, ऑफिशियली पहला ही सेशन है। यस यस, ऑल, या दे ऑल आर वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स, पूरे के पूरे टीम लीड के लिए एलिजिबल है। मतलब दो जो है वे, उसमें से एक बंदा जो है उसका नाम याद नहीं आ रहा है, चंद्रशेखरन समथिंग, हु इज एलिजिबल फॉर, who is working as a team lead, and the rest who are like they are due for a team lead promotion and all, ठीक है। एंड ये तो तुम्हें तो इनका तो इसका ज्ञानेश्वर का तो पता ही है। नहीं ठीक है, उनको ऐड कर दो, वैसे भी क्या है ना कि वो दोनों को डेमो चाहिए था, तो मैंने कहा कि भाई ऑन गोइंग सेशन में ऐड कर देंगे, देखो कुछ बेनिफिट होता है तो लेट मी नो, सो हम फिर टीम लीड का आपके लिए रन करवा देंगे, और क्या फिर। तो वैसे उन दोनों का, हाँ ठीक है ना, उनको आप ना आगे कम्युनिकेट कर लो, अगर वैसे है तो ऐसे बोल दो कि बैच में हूँ, तो मे बी इट विल टेक हार्डली 15 to 20 minutes डिले, और जो भी है बफर टाइमिंग, सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन कनेक्ट। आप कम्युनिकेट कर लो, उसमें बंदे हैं ना, तो आपको जब करना है वो कर लो, ठीक है। ठीक, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हाँ, ये कौशिक आ रहा है, मैं हूँ, मेरे दो पार्टनर्स है, एंड ऋषभ। मेरी वाइफ का थोड़ा सा दिक्कत होने वाला है, क्योंकि मेरी बच्ची भी है ना तो इसलिए तो मैंने कन्विंस कर, नहीं वो, हाँ मैं समझ सकता हूँ, लेकिन दिक्कत ही हो गई ना, तो मेरी बच्ची छोटी है ना, तो बच्ची को लेके बाहर जाने नहीं देते हैं। एंड दूसरा फिर तो बोलते हैं कि फिर अगर तू भी जा रहा है, वाइफ को भी लेके जा रहा है गर्मी। नहीं, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ, मैं आपको एक, मुझे थोड़ा सा समय दे दो, आई मीन सेशन, तो उसके बाद वाइफ अगर रेडी है तो आई या ब्रिंग हर, ठीक है, ओके। हे हाय, so
Yeah.
yes, Viraj was asking about the session and also how many are there and all. I was just
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
briefing him. Okay. Then return of capital. If it is a simple return of capital, it means definitely that as an investor or maybe as a fund, that fund will receive cash, right? And then that
Yes.
the
Yes.
security will be out from the account.
Uh, Actually, Viraj is calling me now.
Okay, pick the call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hey, hi.
Sorry, actually, I got a call from.
No problem. Yep. Okay. So, if it is a normal return of capital process, then cash will receive to you. Then security
Yes,
will be debited from your account,
yes,
right?
yeah,
Then, yeah. And if you ask me questions, due to this, there will be an impact on net asset value of a fund. That is depends.
yeah,
If you're getting full value of your investment, then why there will be any impact?
yes,
If you're getting any additional value, then there will be definitely there will be positive impact on your net asset value of a fund.
yes,
And
yes,
if
yeah.
you're getting any least value than the market value, then there will be
Negative.
negative impact.
Yes,
Negative in the sense the NAV will be down eventually.
yes, yes. It will be yeah, undervalued actually.
Exactly. And sometime, let's say, due to this, maybe return of capital, if you see the loss or maybe if you see the gain or something, premium, which we can call it. So in that case, then definitely you can prepare the entry like cash and bank account debit, then
Mm,
realized loss on transaction account again debit, and
yeah,
then to investment in stock or bonds or preference stock account, whatever it is the stock name, which you can say, which is like credit, and then to realized gain on investment account credit.
yeah,
If we see any profit or maybe gain something, which I can say after the
mm,
the return of capital process, so that is depends, then you can prepare this combined accounting entry
yeah,
or as accountant. But yeah, in a corporate action team, they don't prepare any as such entry. What they do, they just prepare that just they just process cash. So cash will be credited to you,
yeah.
and the security will be debited from your account.
Yes,
Simple.
yes. So,
uh,
do you have the list of this corporate action, like which are the corporate action are mandatory and which are
yeah,
non-mandatory?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Yes.
I have it. Okay. Then this fair value calculation process of different securities. So do you know fair value calculation process or fair value of securities or pricing part?
Yes, I think. I mean, I have the idea like what exactly did they do. I mean,
What we do
it's
with the
just like
equities?
fair value. It means it's a market value of the security. For example, if I brought one company share 10 rupees per share today, next day the value got the market value is 11, so that is we call as a fair value of the security actually. If it is increase or decrease anything, so we calculate the everyday price of that security actually. Yeah.
What about the illiquid securities? Let's say security is not listed and the price of that security is not available. Then how you calculate the price of that security then?
Yeah, we should calculate actually for that also.
How we calculate? Do you know the approaches what we follow to calculate the price of that particular securities?
No, no, actually no idea.
Okay, we'll see that.
Yeah.
Pricing. Okay, so if you ask question, how we calculate the price and all, or maybe pricing, what is pricing, or what the pricing team they do in their day in day out timing. So most of the people they answer like, okay, so we received Excel sheet from the agencies. So what we do, we just check the pricing moment in the securities. If you see the unusual movement in the securities or price, then you can update that price into the system, right? And my job is done then.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I also agreed with this. So I'm not saying that there is something different process which we follow, but yeah. So how we calculate the price of a different securities, what the model we have, what the hierarchy that we follow to calculate the price of a securities and all, that is something that as accountant we should know it.
Yes.
FA pricing team on a daily basis, see your job is to calculate the fair value of securities
Yes.
and valuation hierarchy, which is something we have, which is the L1, L2 and L3. L1 it means level 1 securities.
Okay.
All the listed securities comes under this label.
Okay.
Listed, it can be your bonds, warrants, ETF, preference equity, common equity, derivative options, futures, CDS, if it is listed, everything.
Okay.
So you can check the price or consider price from the market. But yeah, so question would be like, so which price that I can consider? There will be like market close price, last sell rate price. So which price that I can consider to update that price into my system? There are three ways
Okay.
to calculate. You can consider the close market price of that particular security also. But that you will have to highlight in the official document. So which the pricing fund will consider to update in the system, the same price which you can update throughout the fund life cycle.
Yeah. So is this something discussed during this in this questionnaire, like questionnaire form, like when the
Initially,
fund
it
got
means at the
launched?
time of launching form, so you will have to disclose everything, the accounting practices and all. This is comes under the accounting and valuation practices. So you will have to disclose this matter also. So which price that you can consider to update in your system, and the same will be conveyed to the fund accounting team, so they can follow the same practice also.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So for L1 are the listed securities.
Yes, listed, or I would say the price which is it can be easily available in the market. Quoted price by the buyer and sellers.
Okay, like any asset class, if the price is available in the market, like listed securities only we get the price in the market, right?
Exactly. Listed, or I would say, see, it's not about only listed. Listed, why I have highlighted the listed one? Because we know that is little bit about the listed one.
Yeah.
The price of the security will be traded in the market, and also that price which you can consider.
Yes.
The point here is very simple. If the price of the security is easily available in the market,
Uh,
then
for
that
example, for example, apart from the listed security, what for which security we get the price usually in the market?
Bharat bond, let's say, so where you can see the price of this security in the
Government
market.
security.
Say this Bharat bond. This is the current price of the Bharat bond ETF with the
Okay, so this
maturity.
price, I mean,
Yes,
this is
this
not in the
price you
listed.
don't need to calculate the actual pricing here then for this bond. So you can consider price of this bond and you can update into your system.
Okay, so this
Because
price is calculated by the company itself.
not company, that is like a price which you can see. This price is generated through the spread, market
Okay.
spread, buyer and sellers quotations, because buyer also quoted, seller also quoted, right? And
Yeah.
accordingly this price will move. If I
Yes.
say listed security, Wipro security, say what is the price of Wipro? 432.
Yes.
If you see the market close timing 355
Hmm.
and market close at 340, right?
Yes.
So means till the 4, see, you cannot consider this price which is 432.45.
Hmm.
So the brokers or agencies, they can share the report with us. So they actually calculate, or they do the average of this, from 345 to till 355, or maybe from directly 330, or maybe 3 to 330. So last 30-minute average order prices which you can calculate, and just calculate the average price of that particular securities, and that price also you can consider to update in your securities in your system.
Yes.
Apart from that, if you don't want to calculate the average pricing and all, then you can consider the last sell trade price of that particular security. Last sell trade price I'm talking about. So who can provide that data? Stock exchange.
Okay.
They can
So
provide the data.
usually what this our industry will follow?
Sorry.
No, no, usually what we follow last price, right?
Last sell trade price. Most of the funds they follow the last sell trade price, and few funds they also follow the average pricing structure. That is last 30 minutes orders, which you can, do the averaging for all the orders which you have received, calculate the price, and that price which you can update into your system.
Okay.
These are the methods which you may expect questions.
Yes.
What about L2 securities? If the security is not actively traded in the market, but the pricing information of security will be available from the agencies, or maybe let's say you're not holding that securities, or someone is holding that securities and someone is carrying that pricing information. That pricing information also you can consider for a valuation. So you don't need to
Okay.
calculate any other value for that particular securities. So that security you can categorize as a L2 securities.
Okay.
It can be bond, it can be preference equity, it can be any asset.
Yes.
What about L3 securities? L3 securities, it means all risky instruments like distressed bonds, loans, or complex products like ABS, MBS, etc. will be under level 3 and required valuation approach.
Yes.
What are the different approaches that we follow to calculate the price of a bonds and all? One is income approach to calculate the future cash flows. If you take the example of a bond,
Mm.
let's say this is the bond, so it means bond face value is, let's say, 100, coupon
Mm.
price is, let's say, 10%,
Mm.
right? Then risk free rate, so it means always we compare with the RFR risk free rate. Then duration, 1 year. So let's say you're doing the accounting at the beginning of the period, right? Then you can follow the step to calculate the price of such a contracts and calculate the future cash flows value, and that value you can compare with today's or with current timing, I would say, because in a finance always we call like time has a value.
Yes.
That's what we calculate, like net value, net present value of a particular bonds or investment. If I received 1 rupees up to 1 year, so it
Yeah.
means that 1 rupees you cannot compare with the today's 1 rupees
Yes.
due to inflation.
Yes. Yes.
So you need to calculate that, and after that, if you see the value, so that value you can update in your system. So with
Who? I mean, the pricing team will calculate this.
no pricing, not pricing, there will be valuation team.
Okay.
Then valuation committee or team, I would say, because every fund they appoint valuation committee or team. So they actually calculate the price of this particular securities. Maybe they will have that is macro or any cheat sheet or checklist or Excel based sheet. So you just need to update the information, whatever information that you have, so that
Mm.
Excel will help you to calculate the value of that particular securities as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So this pricing team will just whatever the price they have. Like if it is a yellow securities, so they get the price on the like on market on the stock securities they get the price. For these L3 securities, the valuation team will calculate the price and they'll send to the pricing team. As per that, they do the
Yes,
price.
yes, yes, yeah. That's what they always, if you ask this question to the pricing people, hey, what you do exactly? Their explanation would be like, we receive data from the agencies and all. So sometime fund can appoint agencies as well
Yes.
to calculate the pricing and all,
Yeah.
right? So pricing team, they can calculate, they can means calculate all this NPV through DCF factor, discounted cash flow factor and all, and then after they can submit the data to you, and then pricing team they can update into their system.
Okay. If you don't mind, can you just explain this example once again?
So which one? Income
This
approach.
example. Yes. Yes. This example.
Yeah, this is
The
the
bond.
example. Let's say bond face value is 100, coupon
Okay.
price is, let's say, 10%,
Yes.
right?
The interest. Right. Yeah.
And let's say the duration of the investment is 1 year.
Okay.
If you calculate the net value of a bond, which would be around 110, so which you will receive after 1 year, right?
Yes.
But you're calculating that value today.
Okay.
So how will you see that 110 rupees, that you cannot say that so the valuation of your bond is like 110,
Yeah.
because that will receive to you up to 1 year.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
so you can just deduct the 5% as your RFR or risk free rate. Why? The important is why. The reason is, if you received your entire money today, let's say 100 plus 10, if you receive today, then it means when you invest in your government bonds and all, so government bonds, they can offer you 5% as a interest rate to you, risk free rate.
Yes. Yes.
So it means, in short, if you have your funds in your hand, so you can invest. See, this is like assumption. We are assuming that situation when you have
Mm.
your security in hand or investment in hand, so you can invest that and earn 5% return, right? And then
Yeah.
if you add the 5% return on 110, then the value of that particular cash will be something different.
Yeah.
But
So this risk-free rate, it will calculate on the 10%, right? That on coupon rate, not on the bond face value.
yes, that is 10% which you can calculate. Instead 100, the value of that your entire value would be something different. Let's say it can be 1010, or maybe 108 something, the value. So that would be your actual value.
Okay.
So in short, I have already I have recorded this session for this the NPV part and bond valuation part in details
Okay.
with an example. So I'll send that recording to you.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Then the other approach is like market approach. Market approach, it means like all the fundamentals which you can do the calculations and all.
Okay.
Entire your fundamentals and all of a business, maybe debt to equity, revenue, capital employed, right, profit, net profit, all
Yeah.
which you can calculate, and then after you can measure the price of that particular securities, and that price which you can update into your system.
Yes.
In that way also we do it.
Yes.
And if you want like the platform where you can check it, smart investment something. Wipro, fair value of stock. Wipro, fair value of a stock. Yeah, this one is the site. So here you can check the fair value of a particular stocks. If you see that the data is not available, so you can check the market fundamentals here of that particular security.
Okay.
Let's say if I check the fair value of value in investing, price, sales, BP, quarterly result, balance it and all, the price. So the price, which is something around 216.26 fair value, but the market value of that security, that is something different.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who does this calculation? These companies will do and publish on their this website, or
No,
the
you
valuation
can
team
means
will.
as accountant, valuation team they do it.
Okay.
And in India, like Crisil, Jeffries, or the
Mm.
Nomura, they provide such
These are the
valuation.
agencies.
Yeah, so the agencies they do it because they are actually into the valuation business and all.
Yeah.
So the fund managers they can subscribe their service. So means they can send this data to you. But nowadays it is like easy to even to get the value and all. So you can refer such a platforms which they provide you everything. If you take
Yeah.
their subscription, you just need to select the stock. They provide you the value as well,
Okay.
right? So nowadays we have a number of things to get the value of securities and all. The important one is again cost approach. So
Okay.
this the cost approach you can apply to the lands or real estate investment.
Yeah.
So where it is difficult to calculate their incomes or the market fundamentals and all. So in that case you can apply the cost approach. So it means check the cost of that particular land and you can update that into your system. And if you sell
Yeah.
it, when you sell it, so whatever consideration will receive to you at that time, so yeah, so just calculate your profit and all, or gain maybe from that particular that property, right? Or gain or loss, and accordingly you can apply the accounting treatment. But yeah, on the basis of cost, you can continue with your accounting process. In a private equity business, you would see this cost approach if that
Yeah.
the fund is related to the real estate fund. Okay, so the most important question is why we do this valuation and all. To know or to calculate the unrealized gain and losses on the security. That's what we do it.
Yes.
If you don't calculate the fair value of a securities, then how will you calculate the unrealized gain and losses
Yes.
on the asset?
Yeah.
Correct? So in
Yes.
short, the valuation is important. But in a fund accounting pricing process, most of the people they are not aware about this structure. What they know
Yeah.
is they are only aware about that the information that they received, and after that they update into the system. That's it. It's like a data entry stuff.
Yeah. So they basically what how they start is like they take the prices for the security from for L1 securities. They easily get the prices from Bloomberg and these
Yeah.
applications. So they take the price into the number of shares, multiply by that, they get the market value and they upload like that only, right?
Yes, correct.
And they just check the PD and CD movement, what was the yesterday price and today price. If there is like huge changes, they will validate the price,
Correct.
uh, whether it's
Validate it
correct.
means to update it if required, and if there is no change, then you don't need to update anything. That's fine. Just confirm it that there is no movement in the price. That as a pricing team, so you can acknowledge to the teams, or maybe you don't require even if the system is automated, so that the concerned team means fund accounting team will receive the notification as well.
No, but actually fund accounting team, what actually they, for example, if you get your my fund, I'm holding like 50 securities, right? For example, I'm holding 50 securities and the pricing team updated the price and I get the PVT table, like price verification tool. I got from that, and I got an Excel sheet. So they already priced and I got that. So what are the things we check in those things, like
In a fund
as a
accounting site that you are saying, or NAV site that you're talking about.
NAV side, NAV side.
So the NAV side, it means they calculate the unrealized gain and losses. Simple. That is depends because
No, but they also verify the prices, right? I mean, whatever the price they.
see most of the time. So when the pricing teams they update the price and all, so they upload their reports into their systems, or maybe sometime you would see, so they can save that, the report which they have received from the agency, so they can save it somewhere. So
Mm.
before considering or passing the entry for unrealized gain and losses, so fund accountants, they can also check it whether the price is correctly recorded or not.
Yeah.
Eventually for you, so even see, when you pass the accounting entry, actually there will have impact, correct?
Yes.
And that's the reason you can also cross verify the information with the that security price which is recorded or projected in the system.
Yeah.
And if you see any
So
discrepancy as such, then you can escalate that matter to the pricing team. So why did you update this incorrectly? Please rectify this or update it correctly. That is
no,
depends. If it
for,
is if it is not end-to-end model, then you can see this. So there would be separate team for each one.
no. For example, if the price, if the for one XYZ security the price is 10 today, but instead of 10 by mistake our pricing team updated the price as 9.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Hmm.
based on their confirmation, it was like if you compare the PDCD, there is no much difference, and it was not breaching our tolerance level. So even as a fund accountant, we proceeded because we got a confirmation from pricing team. We proceeded that for that particular day. Next day, like next day, we realized that the price which we use for yesterday valuation that was incorrect. So do we need to rectify something like in that, or we can
Yes,
calculate?
eventually see, if you observe this tolerance part or threshold part, this is like means in a fund accounting team, your investment is linked with the market, right? Sometime you would see that the price, whatever that you're looking for, that won't be like correct and all. That's the
Yeah.
reason they have means already that the fund they have confirmed this information with the uh, that part which I can say uh, regulator, so that they will carry the
Yeah.
buffer, right?
Yeah.
So they will carry the buffer. If there is no big movement in the price, let's say there is 10%, 55, whatever the percent is there, if there is no movement as such, and due to that there is no even impact on the net asset value of a fund, in that case you can directly publish your NAV. That's absolutely fine. And that's what the
Okay.
buffer, that your threshold limit or the leverage that they have give it to you. But that doesn't mean you will not update anything.
Okay.
Let's say there is a deadline, right? And due to deadline, you all are abide to publish that NAV to the regulator.
Mm.
And at that time, you got to know that the price which was updated in your system, that is not like up to date, or maybe that is mismatch with the report and all. In that case, see, that process will take time, right?
Yeah.
But you evaluated that from your end, there is no big impact, and the even though that is like below the threshold and all,
Yeah.
meanwhile you can publish your NAV,
Yeah.
then reach to that particular team stating that why they have updated the price incorrectly, ask them to recorrect it, and then after eventually there is no impact, it means there will not any big impact to net asset well, there will be like difference in the fractions
Mm.
up to 4 digit, that we also consider it, 4 or maybe sometime 3 digit difference which we consider as accountant after your main digit. Let's say 100 is the NAV, 100.123, so up to that we consider it. There is no difference as such, then that's fine. So ask them to update it, so they will update it, because if they will not update, and tomorrow also there will be change then,
Yes.
and then that threshold limit, that doesn't make sense to take the full leverage of that threshold limit. Eventually it should be updated correctly. That's your job, that's what we are here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But due to the deadline and all, they have give this leverage to us, which is we call threshold limit.
And even it's not practically possible to verify all the securities. Like one
Exactly,
fund is
so
closed.
that's what means. Sometimes there's like an exception that, it's like an
Yeah.
exception, so
Yeah.
to meet the deadlines and all, practically it is not possible.
Yes. Only we can focus on those securities which is breaching the tolerance.
Exactly. And that's what the pricing, once they update the pricings and all, so our means as a NAV team job is to check it, is there any impact or not. Is there
Yeah.
any impact? Then only pass the accounting entries for those securities and take the projection of those securities in a books of account. That's it.
Okay.
So you don't need to calculate the pricing for all the securities and take it and update into your system, because that process will take time.
Yes.
Then you
Yes.
will not be able to meet the deadline, and in a practical way that is not possible. Let's say the fund is holding 100 sub shares, 100 sub stocks, then that's not possible.
Yeah.
So we'll only focus on those who have crossed their exception or maybe threshold, which you can see, okay, say, or that label which was
Yes.
assigned.
Yes.
Okay, so we are left with one more part, which is fees, or yeah, fees part, I think, and then redemption.
Fees and cap stock actually.
Yeah,
Cap
so
stock.
we have
Distribution.
covered the subscription part. So redemption will cover at the end, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and before that we'll cover the fees part. Then redemption will be covered here.
Uh,
Redemption or capital
how
distribution.
about the trade part, like trade processing and this one?
So we have trade entries. We have already covered it.
No, actually, what the trade settlement and this processing?
See, we are talking about entries, so don't worry about the trade processing and just hold.
Yeah.
So this is all about accounting entries. Then I'll walk you through the process, different processes. That is settlement and all. Everything will be covered there.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
This is all about accounting entries, and you can relate with the process as well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So two chapters are remaining, so which we can cover in next session. And after that, then we'll directly jump on the structure. See this different processes
Yeah.
which comes under this portion.
So we do also cover the fund structure, like master feeder, fund of fund, and these things.
Yeah, we'll cover it. We'll cover.
Actually, the questions more they are going now the structure, right? They are presenting the different structures which we never worked on that.
Yeah, that's fine. See, क्या होता है ना कि उन अभी अगर मैंने मानो कि पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर में काम किया हुआ है, एंड वो
Yeah.
बंदा अगर खुद, इफ यू आर अ मैनेजर एंड यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द इंटरव्यू, क्योंकि दोनों का प्रिपरेशन इंटरव्यू के लिए दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
मेरा प्रिपरेशन है ही नहीं है. अभी बंदे ने खुद लिखा है कि बिकॉज आई एम नॉट फ्रॉम अ मास्टर एंड फीडर, सो आई हैव ओनली वर्कड ऑन पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर. But still, you would expect question on that. Okay, so now tell me, how will pass the accounting entry in the books of master and feeder?
हाँ.
अगर उस मतलब ये दोष अपना नहीं है, वही दोष उनका भी है.
वही तो.
हर बार दोष अभी खुद को ही क्यों दे? We already I have mentioned that I haven't worked on master and feeder, so what I know is basic. Let's say.
Yes.
तो
Yes.
उसने
And
उस हिसाब से
sometimes
पूछना चाहिए सवाल. What is
yeah.
master and feeder? How it is work and all? वो नहीं करेगा वो.
हाँ.
So इसका मतलब ये है कि वो ऐसे खेल रहा है कि जैसे उसको जो पता है उसी में खेल रहा है वो.
वही तो. हाँ. हाँ.
भाई उसमें क्या मजा है यार?
वही तो. अगर उसको sometimes what happens, I have seen some interviews like uh, in the job description, whatever that they mention, we prepare the interview for the interview as per that, right? Because that's the reason, that's the purpose. They say the job description. This is what they are looking into the candidate, right? So as per that, we prepare for the interview, but there will be no questions on that job description. They'll ask something different.
That's what, because the point here is, in that case क्या होता है ना, if you see the recruitment process, let's say I want one FT in my team. I'm a manager.
Yeah.
I want one FT in my team. So I cannot take your interview.
Yes.
So I'll appoint someone else, or I'll send someone else to take your interview.
Yeah.
And in 99% cases, that guy means he'll not be in a position to take your interview from his mind. But just because of protocol, he's there with you.
Yeah.
अभी अगर मुझे पता ही नहीं है, यानी कि वो जो बंदा इंटरव्यूअर है, he is not aware about the job description, what
Yes.
HR sent to you, and that's what you would see the difference. So he'll fire different question on you.
Yeah.
I have raised this concern to the several directors here. Why you guys do this means you're looking for a candidate who is from Recon, and you guys are asking questions from a hedge fund side, private equity side. What makes sense?
Yes, exactly.
Anyways, this is like endless discussion.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll not disclose anything because